Hi everyone, I'm Clara Capano, and I am so excited to announce that my new TV show, Be Productive, is airing now on Now Media. You can catch it online as well as in several local stations in your immediate market. So go to nowmedia.com and catch all the strategies, all the tips you need from industry leaders on Be Productive.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
Hey, welcome to Biz Talk TV. I'm your host and guide, Michael Rager. As you can see by the sign behind me, it's time for Purple Politics. We got Alina Gonzalez. Alina, how are you today?
I am fabulous, Michael. Always thrilled to be here with you.
All right. So we were talking a little bit off camera before I got there. You got a cool wave going on there in Florida. It was like only 87 this morning.
Yeah, we're down to a beautiful 87 degrees at 7-something this morning, thanks to the thunderstorm. So I am welcoming every single drop of rain at this point.
All right. So speaking of thunderstorms, you wanted to start with an interesting topic today. So come on and launch it.
Okay. So I try to be positive and I want to empower and awaken our viewers and, more importantly, our population. Because what is happening in the Capitol is outrageous and disruptive to our own nation's security. And I am talking about Senator Tuberman, the former coach to Auburn, who is now senator. He is a perfect example of why ideological beliefs, when throwing a tantrum, can be very disruptive. He is currently withholding his vote on promotions in the military for generals to move up in ranks because the Department of Defense have started a policy that if a female military member females make up 20% of our military, wish to have some sort of reproductive procedures that are not offered within the state that they are stationed, that they will provide free transportation to a state that does. This could be abortion. This could be in vitro fertilization. It could be a necessary DNC that a doctor won't allow in a state. So because it is against the current extreme Republican view that everything must be pro-life, that there should be no abortion, even though the Supreme Court has stated that it is in the individual states' rights. This one senator is holding up the promotions of generals. For the first time in 100 years, our Marine Corps does not have a chief. I mean, Mike, can you imagine? One person is now causing issues for our security.
Well, that's what we're getting to right now. And I know one of the things we're sitting here talking about purple politics is we got ideologies on both sides of the aisle that are just getting so extreme, and these things are holding things up. So what does this mean? I mean, really, what happens but for us not having the chiefs of staff that we need in place?
Well, first of all, it's not just a fact that, there's an open slot. Yes, the deputies are filling in those roles, but because they are stalling out, literally, stalling the promotions, it prevents other people from moving up. So what common sense does this make? So we have one person objecting to the promotions, which prevents people who have worked dutifully for the service to our country and our protection from being able to be promoted in a job. So this is going to affect our Joint Chiefs of Staff, because in October, that term ends. And then what incentive does someone have to continue to stay on past the initial 4 years, 8 years, to become a lifetime military member so that there is no advancement or that they can be basically stalled out? This also affects pay grades, benefits. I mean, it is a ripple effect. It's not just, oh, we're going to hold off and not have a general in chief, but we'll have a deputy.
Well, how
There's
do we get
much
to the point? Let me ask you this: how do we get to the point that one controversial person, Coach Tuberville, here's a guy that was he was a football coach. I mean, he launched his political career because he was a positive, he's an influential football coach. We're seeing this around all the time now. But how have we gotten to the point that one person has so much power that they can hold this up?
In the Senate, this is one of the jobs of the Senate is to approve the promotions of generals. So, and it takes a unanimous Senate to approve the promotion. So if one wants to hold out, that stops everything. And that is what is happening. And this goes back to the reality is that we need common sense leadership. We need leadership that can say, yes, I am pro-life. I don't believe that the access to abortion should be readily available. However, this is our military. This is our nation's security. This is the basis of our power. Maybe it's time to set aside those ideological strong wishes and say, okay, what is in the better for our United States of America?
Well, I think that's what you got right there. We're seeing politicians right now that they're not looking at what's better for the United States of America. They're looking to go ahead and to satisfy the ideologies of their party, whichever way they are. It's party politics. It's not partisan politics anymore. And I think a little bit, as we discussed last time we talked, is people get elected and they forget that they represent the whole district, the whole state, the whole whatever, and not everybody believes that. And they have to do what's right for everybody, not just the party. And how do we get around that?
I think that's where you're starting to see like movements occurring. So you had the no labels movement. I'm not going to call them a party, but there's a no labels movement. And no labels movement, their pact with the American people is that they are pushing forward for a common sense ballots, for common sense representatives for the Americas, because the no labels, which is one of the co-chairs or honorary co-chairs of Senator Manchin, is saying that we need to strip ourselves away from the D and the R ideological power and look at what is in the best for everyone. You also had the forward movement that was briefly talked about, but hasn't really gained much momentum. And I really think that the no labels is gaining some momentum in that at least you have people talking about it. You do have influential government personnel speaking for it. And again, it's like what we talked about last week. I mean, we currently have a political party, the Democrats, that have AOC, who is a progressive, with Manchin, who is a moderate. We have in the Republican Party, in the same party, Mitt Romney, he's always been a moderate Republican, with someone like this current senator, who is ultra right, ideologically probably beyond the Tea Party. And I think that's where, again, where the awakening needs to happen, because we, the people, are the ones who are electing these people, and they have to represent the whole, not just the part.
Well, this is something, because we've only got about another minute left, I think we need to bring up in the next show, because why are they influenced that way? And I think we know it. It's because of money and lobbyists.
You hit the nail on the head. I almost went, show me the money.
Don't have money behind them, and that's where we need to go. And that's where we need to be looking at. So if people want to hear more about this with you, Alina, how do they follow you? How do they hear about it? And how do they get a hold of you?
Well, I am on Facebook, Alina Gonzalez Dockery, very long name, but it's down there. Also, you have my I know I'm a hyphenated lady. What can I say? Also, Alina at lifelawplanning.com. And once I get some things settled up, then we'll have even more purple politics and it'll be easier to find me.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I think we just need to keep going on this because this is something that people need to hear about. They need to start looking at because no matter which party we represent, is we're getting so polarized and we're forgetting about the good of everything. And, both sides, we got to get back to it, and that's what it's all about.
See, you summed it up perfectly, Mike.
Shh. Don't tell anybody. I come up with a good idea and a good statement once a day. So hopefully, it just happened to be in your segment. So I'm looking forward to our next segment. So Alina, you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Michael Rager on Biz Talk TV. We're going to be back with more right after this.
Hi everyone, I'm Clara Capano and I am so excited to announce that my new TV show, Be Productive, is airing now on NowMedia. You can catch it online as well as in several local stations in your immediate market. So go to NowMedia.com and catch all the strategies, all the tips you need from industry leaders on Be Productive.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved. The best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
República H, con Sofía García.
Una república que necesita saber cuál es el camino correcto. En República H te diremos qué pasa en cada rincón del país. ¿Qué pasa en tu estado? ¿Qué hace tu gobernador, presidente municipal o alcalde en materia de seguridad, salud, desarrollo, economía o servicios básicos para atender a su población? Tenemos desplegados más de 70 corresponsales en todo el país y más allá de las fronteras. República H, de lunes a viernes a las 8 de la noche por Heraldo Televisión.
Palitos y Bolitas es la catedral de la explicación. Este programa es la única parada que necesitas para entender los porqués y cómo de todo lo que pasa en México y el mundo. Lunes a viernes, 7 p.m. por Heraldo Televisión.
El tema está en los países.
Liderazgo y experiencia
Nuestro país debe meterse en las grandes discusiones y en los grandes debates.
son parte de una carrera exitosa.
Se juegan dos estados.
Él es referente en el periodismo.
No definen el 2024.
Javier Solórzano te espera cada noche para llevarte las noticias, el análisis y las entrevistas más importantes de lo que sucede día a día en el país.
Este es el referente de la noche.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager, and this time we've got a new guest. She's coming all the way here from the great state of Wisconsin, Nicole Eisler. Nicole, how are you today?
I am fantastic all the way up here in Wisconsin. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
You're not
I'm
cooking
excited.
like we are down here in Texas. So, all right, we're going to talk a little bit about productivity. So you're a productivity coach. You work on energizing and using, getting people energized through productivity. What's one thing that people, they really struggle with? And I know we talked a little bit off camera, self-awareness. How does self-awareness help us become more productive?
Well, ruminating on things certainly doesn't. Feeling frustrated certainly doesn't. It's important to talk about the things that it doesn't help with as much as what it, self-awareness. How can I be more productive? Happier people tend to be at least 12% more productive, which means you're reducing cost. You're actually enjoying the work that you're doing and you're not being in that reactive mode. So self-awareness can do a lot of things to collapse time on your goals. It absolutely helps you feel more effective, but even more than that, it helps you feel more impactful. There is a difference between just being robotic, checking off the tasks, hitting the list, your long to-do list that's never ending, and actually feeling by the end of the day, I'm fulfilled. I felt like I really created my impact. And through self-awareness, you can accomplish so much more of that and actually enjoy the work that you're doing. I think it's an important component of what we're doing here in business is to actually come across knowing that I love what I do. I love my approach, my strategies, the impact that I'm creating. This keeps you energized to want to get up tomorrow, right? And get at it again. That's what keeps us in that state of inspiration. So it is definitely a huge component of this.
Well, how as business owners and people in general, how do we become more self-aware? Because a lot of times it's just, we just kind of, chug along through life and we just let things happen to us. So how do we become self-aware and move that into our decision-making skills?
That's a great point. You can become, we're just habitual creatures. You can feel sort of robotic, right? You're taking things as they hit. It's an important piece of this too, to really approach self-awareness as how can I improve? Where can I improve? What am I doing that's maybe setting me back versus, oh, I didn't do that good enough. I should have worked harder at that. This isn't a critical approach. Right. That's something different. That's that conditioned mind piece. We want to increase our effectiveness and our impact. So making it a regular habit to hit the pause, do a reflection after a meeting. Now I'm going to also say though, before you go into the meeting, what is the flow? How do I want to come across? What is the impact that I want to create? What energy or state do I need to bring into this experience? Whether it's a meeting, something for planning, productivity, you're giving a presentation, you're doing an interview. How do I need to show up? What is the state that I want to be in so that I stay in my inspired state? I'm in that energetic state that is really creating that impact, and then making it a regular habit after. Okay, what did I like about that? What did I do well? I like to start on the positive. What did I do well? What could I do better? And again, being very open and objective to yourself. What were the positive reactions or responses I had? Where did I really feel like I made an impact? It's really important also, it's something that I teach all of my clients. A lot of people talk about making yourself a priority, starting with self, setting goals that are in alignment with, what you really want to create in the world. And that to me starts before I even lift my head from the pillow. Starting with myself. What am I inspired about today? What is it that I want to create? And then at the end of the day, when I place my head back on the pillow, what was really worth my time and my investment today? Where did I make a difference? This just helps you to navigate and assess. It's not to assess once and then, oh, that was good. Now I move on. This is an ongoing evolution. So I really like to help people understand their patterns so that they can use them to shift out of those patterns more quickly.
Well, I think you said a couple really important points here, and there's two books that I recommend to my clients. The first one's really weird. It's called The Inner Game of Tennis. If you ever read that game, it's a coaching, and it's about how well you think. And it's actually one of the best tennis coaches in the world never actually played tennis. He was a skier. And it came to how you actually think about something, how you train and how you look at it. And you talked a lot about the positive. And I remember when I was reading this book and going, I was just getting better at golf. And I was out one day and I was at the driving range and I was watching this dad work with his son. And all the dad pointed out was the bad things that happened. And when you start talking about that, what happens is his next shots got progressively worse and progressively worse, progressively worse. And I went and pulled the dad aside and said, hey, look, don't do that. Just tell him what he did good. Tell him what he did good. And what happened was he kept telling him what he did well. The shots got progressively better and better and better and better. It wasn't focusing on the worst. And the other thing I really like to use, Brendon Burchard's daily planner. I use that because it sets up your day to here's where I'm going to be good. Here's where I get great. Here's where challenges are going to arise. How can I handle those challenges before I ever get there? And that's a really big thing. I sit there and I talk with people. I use something called setting the drag. My company is called Teach Your Business to Fish, and it's direction, resistance, alignment, then go. And you always need to accept resistance. And when you're looking at yourself and becoming self-aware, how do you help your clients when they start resisting what they know is right in their own head?
I ask just a simple quote. What is it that you ultimately want? They don't want resistance. They don't want the obstacle. They want it to be easy. But if we can see beyond that, it was something I learned. Now, I don't do karate, but when I heard this, when you watch someone break a board, they're not focusing on hitting the board. They're not focusing on the obstacle. They're pushing through the obstacle. What's on the other side? So when I ask a client, okay, I understand resistance. What is it that you want? I go, oh, well, what I want is, and now we can look at, okay, now let's strategize what is the most effective approach for you? What is the simplest strategy we can implement? And start to minimize the size of the obstacle, but actually maximize the size of my client, their potential. They're really getting them to expand into their expertise and being able to see beyond the obstacle, what's on the other side. That becomes incredibly inspiring. And that obstacle soon, we also do a shift and from, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how to handle this to, I actually got this. It's just a matter of finding the option that works for me. It's a matter of finding the path to what I want. So if resistance comes up, I do help them actually tune into it. What are you feeling and where are you feeling it? What's coming up for you? We have been taught, suppress the emotion. Don't go there. You don't want to feel afraid. You don't want to feel, anxious. Anxiety's bad. None of these emotions are bad. They're not good or bad. Some of them are not fun to feel, but until you sit with them, that's when the breakthrough can happen. Oh, now that I've sat with it from an empowered place, I noticed that it's not really what I thought. It's not as big as I thought it was. It's not as limiting as I was allowing myself to believe. So I love getting my clients to just sit in the emotion for a moment, take the story out of it. The story is the feelings. I feel afraid. I don't feel like I can do it. Take the story out. What's the emotion? We need that body wisdom to be able to tune into our physiology. We don't, my clients, and this is what we work on. We live from the neck up.
Yeah.
But this is limiting. When we have so much space to move through our life and so many different options. I love to help them see the options, then choose the one that feels most inspiring and exciting. Well, awesome. That makes it easy to implement.
Well, this has been a great first session. I can't wait till we start getting into more and more and more. So if people want to get a hold of you quickly, how do they get a hold of you?
My website is simply my name, NicoleEisler.com, or you can find me on Facebook, Energize You with Nicole Eisler. That's a great place to start.
Awesome, Nicole. I'm looking forward to this. I think we're going to get some good conversations in the week to come. So it's been a pleasure meeting you here today, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on Biz Talk TV. We're going to be back with more right after this.
My name is Andrew Glisson. Over the past 4 years, I've built a portfolio of over 200 single-family rental properties that generate over $200,000 a month in income. I've put together a 6-step formula to help you consistently acquire rental properties that cash flow $250,000 or more a month and have $30,000 or more of equity built into them. This includes starting right, becoming bankable, buying right, renovating right, exit strategies, property management, and many more modules. Best of all, if you're not totally blown away by the content, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're ready to build generational wealth for you and your family, look me up at sfruniversity.com.
Hey, Lily says AT&T is giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
¿Quieres tener el mejor recuerdo de bodas, original, exclusivo y fuera de lo común? Entra a www.larevistadetuboda.mx o visítanos en nuestra página de Instagram o Facebook. Descubre todo lo que puede quedar plasmado en el recuerdo que siempre soñaste. Reportajes, entrevistas, un diseño personalizado, sesiones fotográficas y mucho más. Solo en la revista de tu boda.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV here on NowMedia Television. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager, and I'm so happy she's back. She's back, our marketing expert from the West Coast, Afa Roach. Afa, how are you today?
Hey, Michael, how are you? Great to be back and great to see you again.
Ah, it's great to see you, but you're not in the studio. You're going to be in the studio again with us soon.
I promise. Next time, I'm definitely going to be there. We have a good vibe when I'm in the studio, so we gotta take advantage of that.
That's right. All right, so Ava, since you were here a few months ago, this stuff has just exploded. AI has exploded. I've been watching you on LinkedIn. I've been watching the things you're doing. How is AI right now reshaping the job market? I mean, because people can use AI to be fake, can't they? What are they doing?
Yeah, and there is so many layers and levels of that almost need to be unpacked. So the first thing that any business owner needs to do is they need to evaluate, first of all, at a macro level and then at a micro level. So for when I say look at something at a macro level, you need to look at what's happening out in your industry with regard to AI. Because if you look at video editing, copywriting, all of these, different industries are being heavily affected by AI. And then the second thing that you need to look at is you need to look at the micro level. So within your business area, there are business units, and those business units have a potential to be integrated with AI or to have AI put in for either replacement or enrichment. Now, what we are seeing is those business owners who are critically evaluating and putting an AI strategy in where they do an analysis at the macro and they do an analysis at the micro are now finding that there is a large amount of tasks that can be automated, that potentially the repetitive, mundane stuff that their employees are doing on a daily basis can actually get automated. Now, there is a responsibility from the business owner that you need to be considering a couple of factors. You need to be considering the impact on your staff with job displacement. Because even if we don't take replacement, there is inevitably going to be job displacement. And what that is creating is a huge fear in the market from people, where they are afraid that they're going to lose their jobs. And the challenge there for a business owner, if you don't have an awareness, if you haven't educated yourself on AI, you risk that your staff or your employees are going to get uncomfortable and you may lose them because you're not someone who's embracing AI. So there are huge shifts in the market, but as employers, we are responsible to be educating our employees on what they need to know in order to be able to upskill, reskill, or potentially understand that they may have to look at it, taking a different role within our organization.
One thing I think you said that was great was upskilling. I know I follow you a lot on LinkedIn. I hope you follow a little bit of what I do. But if you've noticed in the last month, I do this Monday shark meme, and we put a lot of stuff in it. And my assistant used to write that. And what she never, she just did it herself. And we started training her how to use AI to help her write it better. And over the last 4 to 5 weeks, it's gotten way better, more interactive. A lot of things are happening. So we've taken the time to go ahead and train our team on how to utilize AI to take the skill set that they have and become better. And is that something that companies should look at versus that fear part of, hey, you're gonna lose your job because of AI?
It is absolutely essential. It's not even discretionary, it's almost mandatory. Now, there's a statistic released last week that says only 8% of business owners actually have an AI strategy in place. So that means, just to make numbers easy for myself, 9 out of 10 business owners are not prepared for what's coming or what's happening. Those business owners who are prepared are the ones who are going to get ahead so much faster. Because if we look at what you've just done, right, you've taken a process that was a repetitive task. You haven't replaced the person. You've said, let's sit down and let me show you how you can leverage AI to, one, speed up your efficiency, and number two, potentially have a better quality product, service, whatever social media posts delivered, because you are now leveraging what I'm calling these virtual employees. And it's one thing that we're doing with a lot of our clients. We're working towards creating a digital version of the business owner and the people in the business, where we're training the AIs to think like them and to talk like them, so that I can have, like, I had to write a proposal yesterday, and because I've trained my AI to sound like Aoife and think like Aoife, that dummied up a proposal for me within about 6 minutes. That I think, because I had to do a couple of iterations with different things, but I had a whole proposal done in 6 minutes that I could send to someone. Whereas if I had to do that and sit down and write myself, that could have taken a couple of hours. So those efficiencies are being created when the business owner like you are to the forefront, where you're taking proactive action to understand what's happening in the AI space.
Well, I think what you said there is 90% of business owners don't have a strategy. Heck, 6 months ago, we didn't realize this was coming. Unless we were in technology, we were totally oblivious to it. And I'm going to tell you, most of my clients are, some blue collar guys, some white collar guys. They weren't thinking about this. And then all of a sudden, boom, here comes ChatGPT and the world changes.
And it is absolutely true. Like right now, if you go on Indeed.com, there's jobs on Indeed.com ranging from 117,000 to 350,000. Apparently, there was a job on there for 800,000 a year. No, I was joking. I said I need to apply.
Me too.
If someone will pay me 800,000 a year to talk about AI, I'm in. But the point is that it is changing that rapidly. And then where that becomes a danger, if you do decide not to upskill and you decide to bring in someone, we have to realize this technology didn't exist 6 months ago. How much of an expert are you really? You only started learning it in November. So, there's people can put in the 100 hours or the 10,000 hours. I feel like I'm pretty close on that right now with the amount of time that I've spent. But I believe that you are better off bringing in a consultant or have a partnership with a consultant company for them to come in with you, sit down, map out the strategy, and then work to upskill the resources that you have already in there, rather than trying to bring in external resources that are going to be full-time resources, because you run the risk of making everyone very uncomfortable if you start bringing in new resources to do something that no one really understands. So the reskilling and the upskilling is such a critical component, but 9 out of 10 business owners don't think that they can use ChatGPT. They're just asking it prompts. They're not leveraging it to the power that it can be leveraged of, simply because they don't know how, because no one has sat down and explained it to them.
Yeah, they got to sit down with somebody like you and I. I've done that with a few of my clients, because I didn't know much about ChatGPT, and I had to sit down just like you. I drink coffee all night and sit up and figure it out and just mess around with it. I mean, I wrote a book one night in 3 hours. I mean, the book's awful, don't get me wrong, but that's how I kind of learned to get it to think like me. And then now change it and do that stuff. So Aoife, we've got about 30 seconds left. How do people get a hold of you? And how do they find out more about, your thoughts on AI?
Yeah, so if you wanna, you can visit my website, www.attentiongrabbersusa.com. If you can go there and book a call, and I'm always on LinkedIn, always doing posts. You can find me on LinkedIn, connect with me there. You'll actually see a lot of the stuff that I'm doing in the AI space. So I'm very transparent, publishing what I'm doing so that people can keep up with the emerging trends as I go through them. So my LinkedIn, or visit my website at www.attentiongrabbersusa.com.
I recommend follow her on LinkedIn. She's putting on a lot of stuff every day. We see it. It's great. Ava, I'm so glad you're back. I'm looking forward to talking to you again. You have a great day. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here on NowMedia Television. We'll be back with more right after this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
My name is Andrew Glisson. Over the past 4 years, I've built a portfolio of over 200 single-family rental properties that generate over $200,000 a month in income. I've put together a 6-step formula to help you consistently acquire rental properties that cash flow $250,000 or more a month and have $30,000 or more of equity built into them. This includes starting right, becoming bankable, buying right, renovating right, exit strategies, property management, and many more modules. Best of all, if you're not totally blown away by the content, we offer a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If you're ready to build generational wealth for you and your family, look me up at sfruniversity.com.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. We got another new guest with us today. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking branding with Rachel Weaver. Rachel, how are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Michael. I'm happy to be here.
We're so excited to have you here. All right, we're going to talk about something that we hear a lot. We're talking about branding. And as we were talking a little bit off camera, how do we look at branding ourselves, as individuals versus branding our business? Where do we draw the line and the difference, and how do we go about that?
Well, I believe that everyone needs a personal brand. No matter what you're doing in business, I believe you need to focus in on work on your personal brand, no matter what industry or niche you are in. A lot of times what we will do as entrepreneurs or business owners is we will focus in on building the brand of just the company. But what happens if you decide one day that you want to exit the company, you want to pivot into a different role, and you've spent all of this time and energy building out just the brand of that company, and maybe you have a huge name within that specific market or niche, but you've decided to follow a different passion and pivot and go into a different niche. Well, if you haven't focused at all on branding yourself personally, no one's going to know who you are, and you're going to have to start from scratch and building again a reputation that is marketable.
Okay, so let's go from there. So I coach business owners to build and sell their companies. And if I focus too much on me and not the company itself becomes less valuable. So my whole goal is to sell my company at the highest value. If I spend a little bit too much time on me, does that take away from that? Does that distract from the value of the company?
No, because you're still going to be building the company. Okay. Yeah. When we talk about branding yourself personally, it doesn't mean that you only brand you and you leave the company to the side. Okay. As you are building up the brand for the company, because I completely agree. I believe in building businesses to sell. So I love that you coach people on that, because I wholeheartedly believe in it's not a business if it can't be sold. And so I believe that you should be building up the brand of that company with your name attached to it. But in the same time, your personal brand, your core, you are your company, right? You are the face of that company. and the company is a pillar outside of you. So definitely you focus on the company, and at the same time you are building up your own personal brand and your own personal reputation. The company is just a part of you.
Okay, so I'm gonna get a little selfish here. I want to
Yeah.
learn some. I need to learn something here. So I got two different companies, right? Teach Your
Okay.
Business to Fish is all about me. I mean, it's very different. It's very unique. I go to a lot of events where I'm professionals dressed in suit and ties, and I'm in shorts and fishing gear. And so I'm kind of going out in that brand. My other company, Whiteboards and Whiskey, is something that's going to be national. So we're taking this. It's actually national and international. How do we go ahead and brand the business, but then brand 100 different coaches within the business?
So branding the business and then branding the coaches within the business.
Mhm.
So I definitely think this is your company,
This is my
correct?
company, yeah. Me and my partner in Australia, yeah.
I love that. Okay. So I do believe definitely in branding that company. And then as far as putting each of those coaches that are within that company, highlighting them in big, huge ways, obviously they're a representation of your company. And then it's their job on their own time to build out their personal brand and also market and promote your company. Because at the end of the day, I know from failure, I built up a very successful business. And in 2018, I exited that business. I focused heavily on building out the brand of that company, which is still strong today, and I love it. It was a really good exit. I still talk to them way more often than I should probably, but at the end of the day, I did an excellent job of building that company. And yes, everyone in the salon, spa, and med spa space knows who I am. I've spoken on those stages. I have taught people how to start, grow, and scale those businesses. But when I exited and I decided to step into a different market or niche, no one knew who I was, right? So that is why I give the example of building out your personal brand, because a lot of us also, as probably even some of your coaches, we do multiple things. Right? We do more than we're serial entrepreneurs, or we do more than one business. You yourself said you have two businesses, right? That's why it's important to, as you are building out the name of this company and the brand of this company and all the core values of this company, also it's important to be building your name and the company as a branch of you, right? It's just another pillar. Like a lot of people, their parents, their spouses, their friends, their speakers, their business owners, they're doing all these different things, but you at the center, you are the core of this. So it's important to focus on you and building out your name on a public level. Of course, I have a PR company, so I believe in putting our names out there so that you can be seen as the celebrity in your market or niche. Your company can also be seen as the celebrity in the niche market that you are putting out there.
No, I love it. I love it. That's some great advice, because I know I've been looking at this. Me and my partner Chris, we're looking at that right now. How do we go ahead and start brand the company, and then how do we brand our individual coaches? And we're taking the time right now, because we're franchising out the whole thing, is making sure we really select people that fit our brand. And so we're looking at the coach segment, and when we bring them in, they really need to fit the brand that we're trying to push, and not try to meld them into something. Is that something you think we should do? I'm just trying to get some free advice here without paying you.
Yeah. You're good. I think that is a great idea. And I would be more than happy to help you and the company and the coaches. And I'd be more than happy to get on a Zoom and give you lots of free tips and advice to do that. Because I believe it really, really is important. It's important. And a lot of people will say to me, I don't want to be the face of my brand. I don't want to be looking like I'm trying to become famous. Why should I be building out my name in the public eye? It doesn't make any sense. I don't even like to be, I don't even like to be on stage. Well, there's a multitude of different reasons why it is important. And it's not so that you can be perceived as some famous person. You're not trying to become a celebrity, but it is really important to show up in the public eye so that you can be seen and heard and impact those people that need to hear your voice, that need the services you provide. Because at the end of the day, if you're building out a brand for your company or yourself and no one knows about you, do you really have a business?
I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. And so here's you're going to know we are going to be in Pittsburgh because our market is NFL cities. So you do have a football team there. So we will be in Pittsburgh. But how do people get a hold of you? Because you're going to bring some important things, and I'm looking forward to our future talks. How do people get a hold of you?
Yes. So you can get a hold of me. You can find me on Instagram or LinkedIn. I have an expert that I learn all about LinkedIn from. Her name is Aoife Roach. But you can find me on LinkedIn at Rachel Press or on Instagram at I am Rachel Press.
Awesome. So I'm so excited. I know where that came from because I know who trained some of you guys. Because I used to have one of those websites too. So, all right. So I'm looking forward to our next talk, Rachel. You have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you so much. You too.
All right. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide here on NowMedia Television. We're going to be back with more Biz Talk TV right after this.
Hey, Lily says AT&T's giving everyone their best deals.
Minus the air quotes.
Best deals.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Told you, the best deals are for everyone here, with a choice of plans.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
At AT&T, we give everyone our best deals on every smartphone.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear, and maximize their performance. Let's get you to live your best possible reality. Start today and become the CEO of your business and your life.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. And it's the time we're going to be talking with my good friend, Clara Capano. Clara, how are you?
I am doing awesome. How are you, Michael?
You should be awesome. You just got back from Costa Rica. You should be like relaxed. You should be energized and ready to go. You hung around with like monkeys and went surfing and zip line. You did all kinds of fun stuff last week.
I checked all the boxes, all the Costa Rica boxes.
Did you catch a sailfish?
No, that I didn't do. But I need your help with that because that's what you do with people.
We can make that one happen. I'm positive that. Because I'm telling you, I was like on a mental vacation last week watching you go through Costa Rica because I need it. All right, so we're going to talk today about accountability. All right, accountability is important. So few of us do it. Why should we do it?
Accountability is really important for two main reasons. One is it really helps us to identify, are we doing the right things? Because one of the things we have to understand is if we don't do things, the results are not going to happen. So by staying accountable, it really helps us to show up and again, stay in the zone and stay in our lane of doing the right things. The other important thing about accountability is the information it gives us. Because when we start holding ourselves accountable and we start then looking at the results, we can determine, do we keep doing these things or do we not keep doing these things? Because if I'm doing something, but I'm not getting results, I don't want to keep doing the same things. That's the definition of insanity. So it's not just about making sure, are we doing things? It's also about making sure that we're getting the results that we want from doing those items.
Yeah, I'm going to give a pub out to one of my old coaches, a guy named Gary Ryan Blair. Gary used to go, hey, look, I want to fail as fast as possible. And I got to get there because if I don't fail fast, I'll keep doing stupid crap for a long time. Mm-hmm. You almost had to bleep me there. So we're going to go there. So how do we choose the right accountability partner for us as business people?
Yeah. And, so many people, they go to a friend or a team member and they say, oh, let's just hold each other accountable. But there really is a strategy to it. The idea is you have to find someone who believes in you, who understands your goals, what you're trying to accomplish, and also someone that you can give permission to hold you to your goals and hold you to what you're doing. Because sometimes having someone too close to us, they'll let us off the hook. They'll let us hold into the excuses of, oh, but I was tired today. I didn't want to do that, or I'll do that tomorrow. And just a quick story of the importance of having this. I had an accountability partner about 3 years ago, and I tend to be an idea girl. I get all these great ideas and start working on them. And so I was sharing another one of my ideas with her, and she says, Clara, I love hearing about all your ideas, but are you actually going to do something with them? Because I'm kind of tired of hearing about them, but not seeing you do anything with them. And I was like, whoa, snap. But you know what? That's what she needed to do. She wasn't coming from a place of criticism. She was coming from a place of love because she knew I had goals to achieve and I wasn't getting there. So you have to work with someone that you respect, that you can, again, give them permission and that you understand when they do this, when they hold you accountable, they're doing it because they know you can do more. So you've got to really be strategic and don't always find that safe person who's going to be your friend. You've got to find someone that's going to, be respectful, but also hold you to what you've accounted to.
Yeah, I think about 9 times out of 10, it's not a friend because that friend doesn't really want to push that. And
exactly.
Go where we need to go. Where you're going there about the ideas, I was presenting in Pensacola a couple weeks ago, and some guy came up to me and goes, Mike, one of the biggest issues we have is me and my wife come up with so many good ideas, implementing them so hard. And I'm like, dude, how many of those do you put in a parking lot for 30 days and then go look at them again and see if they were really good ideas? Because, hey, what's a good idea now, once we really sit down and think about it, may not be, and going there. So how do we set up and choose what we should be held accountable to? And then how often or how harsh should we potentially have our accountability partner call out our BS? I'm a big Gary Vee fan, so I want to be told that way.
Exactly. And so those are two really great questions. So let's talk about the first one of what do we identify to hold ourselves accountable? What I like to do is take it in 90-day increments. So every year I do my annual strategy plan, my business plan, my success plan. And then what I do is I take it 90 days by 90 days. So I sit down at the beginning of each quarter and I look at what are the goals that I want to accomplish this quarter. Then I go to my idea file and I say, okay, based upon all the ideas that I've come up with, which ones are really in alignment to help me achieve these goals? And then once I choose the tasks or choose the goals, then I go down to, okay, then what are the specific activities that are going to get the results? So that's how I really help to find what it is I need to be accountable to, is by tiering it down, identify the goal, get to the ideas, get to the projects, and then get to the individual tasks. Then as far as what your accountability partner should do and how harsh they should be, that is really going to depend on you and your personality. You know, if you take something like the DISC profile with the driver, influencer, supporter, and controller, you have to identify who you are, because that's also going to teach you how to teach your accountability partner how harsh to be on you. So you've got to kind of talk with them and let them know. Some of us are motivated by negative reinforcement and some of us by positive reinforcement. So I am more of a driver personality like you. So someone can be very direct and call me out. I'm good at separating business and friendship, so I understand it. But to someone who's a little bit maybe softer, they might have to come at it and say, and really connect it back to, you know, I'm noticing that you're not achieving these goals. Why do you think that's not happening? Or how can I better help you accomplish these? So you have to work with your own personality style. You need to know what drives you. And if something isn't working, talk to them. Say, you know, when you gave me that feedback, it was a little too harsh. Or when you gave me that feedback, it was a little too soft. I need you to be more harsh. So it's going to be some checks and balances, but being able to communicate with them and letting them know this works, this doesn't work.
Yeah, it's funny is my partner in Australia, our process is called the accountable boardroom. So we actually do exactly what you just say. We start with the annual goal every 90 days, but we have a check-in halfway through and put people together. It's really great. We keep the group small. There are only 6 people. And so we try to put people in there that can really hold each other accountable and really, really dig into that. All right, so if people want to, get Clara to hold you accountable, how do they get a hold of you? How do they move forward, and how do they make that happen?
Absolutely. The best thing is to just reach out to me, and my email is just clara@claracapano.com. They also can go to my website. I'm definitely happy to always have a quick clarity call with them to see what they're struggling with and see if I can point them in the right direction and give them some resources as well as some of my tips and strategies.
So we're doing Clarity with Clara. Is that being promoted?
Absolutely.
Is that being promoted by Rachel? We got to see that talk you got to have. I come up with one.
I know, that's my tagline. Get clarity.
Yeah, there we go. Clarity with Clara. I love it. So where are we going next?
Where am I going next? Well, I am moving this week to Scottsdale, so that's where I am going next.
Okay, so you're going to more heat, just like the rest of us.
I'm going to more heat. Yes.
Yeah, we had 2 guests today that are up in the north. We need to drag them down here a little bit and find out what life's really like. So,
exactly.
Well, Clara, man, it's great. I love it. I love the fact we're getting to know each better. I got to follow you through Facebook last week and had a great time following that. I can't wait to get into next week's segment, and it's going to be fun.
It is. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Clara. This is Michael Rager, your business guide here on NowMedia Television. We're going to be back with more Biz Talk TV right after this.
Taking a trip in the next 12 months? Airlines are under tremendous pressure and they're practically giving away their unsold seats. Like every crisis, this one will end too. But right now is the best time to take advantage of giveaway ticket prices on their unsold seats. We're not allowed to publish these low fares online. The only way to get these rock bottom giveaway prices is to call. So phone low-cost airlines now for airline ticket prices you may never see again.
Hey, welcome back to Biz Talk TV. I'm your business host and guide, Michael Rager. I'm going to tell you, that was an incredible show. We're getting these ladies that are coming on. They're just giving you guys information to grow your business. If you're not going to follow them, you're making a big mistake. So, get out there and follow everybody's on here. Clara, Ava, Rachel, everybody that was on here today, you need to get out there and follow them. It's going to be so important. We're going to talk politics. We're going to talk business. We're going to talk branding. Everything's going to help you grow your business. I'm Michael Rager, your business guide. Make sure that you're watching Biz Talk TV every week, because if you do, your business is going to grow. We'll see you next time.
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world, you are watching NowMedia Television.
Are you a business owner feeling overwhelmed or burnt out with no energy left for what's most important to you? In order to effectively run your business and maximize your profits, you have got to be the best possible you that you can be. Now is the time to reclaim your energy, master your schedule, and maximize your profits so you can effectively run your business rather than it running you. It's time to become the CEO of your business and life. I'm Jen Godet, a business strategist and life coach. I work with overwhelmed business owners who feel stuck in a rut and depleted. I teach you how to stop doing the things that aren't making you money and start prioritizing the things that bring you energy, joy, and lasting impact. I'm a human performance specialist and an international best-selling author. I've helped countless people all over the world to learn the art of saying no, overcome their fear.
En vivo desde Houston, la ciudad espacial. Esto es NowMedia Televisión.
Promociones aquí en Galerías El Triunfo. Válido en cualquiera de nuestras 46 sucursales. Del 6 al 27 de septiembre. Contamos con meses sin